All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 392 of the KissFAQ Podcast. Hey, look, it's us. We're back. It's the gang. Everyone's in their proper seats, so we got Lonnie, St. Louis Kiss, Marcus Almighty Mark, and
Greetings.
The mighty voice of reason, Ken.
Hello.
So thank you for joining us. It is, of course, the 20th of January, which means it's Paul Stanley Day. Happy birthday, Paul. Hope you have a great day. 70 years old. I didn't think we'd still be rocking and rolling at 70. And I just hit my 5-0, so time is flying by. Mark's about to birth something of his own tomorrow. It is the release of Project Gemini's In the Year 3073, Book 3. It's a fantastic album. I had the opportunity, obviously, to hear it. But Mark, tell us what's going on.
So tomorrow is the official release. Comes out digitally tomorrow on Bandcamp, but the pre-order for the CDs will start tomorrow as well. Thankfully, in this industry that is so overwhelmed with orders, as far as vinyl goes, CD has not been affected too badly. The only thing I found out today from my supplier dude is that they have a little bit of a backup on the trays that the CDs get placed in, like those plastics. They're a little bit behind on production of that. But other than that, it's a couple of weeks and the CD gets turned around. So nothing too much to worry about with that. The vinyl, I was told, is about 6.5 months wait for them. So, of course, I'll get the pre-order started like almost immediately for that as well, because it's going to be a long wait anyway, so might as well get your order in now. And same with the picture disc. It's going to be a little bit of a wait. Not as long as the vinyl, but it's still going to be a bit of a wait. But I will be putting up a video this evening with all the pricing, all the shipping costs, and all that stuff that you need to know, and how to order. It's going to be very simple. It always is, but just a quick video for you guys to check out. And then, we'll take it from there, and it'll go live tomorrow, Friday, the 21st. And there's going to be a release party of the album on the Check It Out podcast on progrock.com from 2 o'clock Eastern time till about 5. He'll be playing the whole album in between other stuff like, Dream Theater and Rush and Steve Hackett and other kind of prog stuff. So if you want to check out the album early, then you might want to go check it out on progrock.com.
Very cool. Well, best of luck with that. It's been a great adventure, 3 parts of the story, and here you are at the final chapter. Lonnie and Mark, since you guys haven't been around for a little bit, and Ken and I did a show last week, I wanted to get your guys' take on the latest announcement off the soundboard. Now we've got the whole crew here. What's your take on that, the format, green vinyl, and whatnot? It, of course, being Virginia Beach 2004. Lonnie?
Well, being green vinyl, I was super excited about it being green vinyl. That's the first one. but in all seriousness, I was extremely let down. I mean, I have that show in great quality, and I think a lot of the Kiss fans that are in the market for it and off the soundboard album also have that show in great quality. So, and not only that, but then that it's an Eric and Tommy lineup, which okay, yeah, it's been that lineup since 2002, well, 2004, I guess, because 2003 tour, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's been that lineup for a long time. We've gotten live releases from this lineup, Kiss Rocks Vegas. We've gotten things like that. Off the soundboard, to me, I mean, what they released for the first one with the Ace and Eric show, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but this just seems lazy, for the lack of better terms. I mean, we have most collectors have the show in great quality. I mean, they were doing those instant lives for every show at the time. I mean, I don't know. I was hoping that maybe they start with the Eric and ace lineup and like gradually work their way backwards, not move forward. I mean, what's the third one going to be? A show from 2009? I don't know. I think it's lazy. I think it's a slap in the face to the fans that we're doing this. I have not pre-ordered it, and I've pre-ordered like all these things, and I'll probably end up getting them. But but for the other ones though, like even like the rock and roll over and the Elder stuff that came out a few months ago. Well, let us buy it a few months ago. We haven't gotten it. I was quick to pre-order it. Like, oh yeah, I want that. And off the soundboard when that came out last year too, I was quick to, I want it on CD. I want the vinyl. Yeah, this is cool. I want this. I was just like, I was really, really let down and disappointed. So, Mark, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I think you make some excellent points, and I echo a lot of them. The whole thing that kind of bothered me about it was that I thought, okay, they came out with the Ace and Eric, which is, and I told Julian this is one of my favorite lineups of the band. I really loved it when Eric Singer was with Ace and those guys. I thought that Eric Singer gave them that sort of solidity that they needed with having Ace in there. It was like a good combination of like yin and yang in there. One really ultra tight guy and one kind of loose guy, and it really made for a great sounding show. I really love that show, and I play it a lot. I have it on vinyl too. I bought it right away when it came out. But when this came out, I was a little bit surprised at first and then a little bit disappointed. I mean, like you said, it's a lineup that, not the most popular lineup, granted, but still, they're a great lineup. They do great stuff. I mean, Julian did make a good point that this show and tour was pretty important to show that this lineup can do anything and play anything from any era, which I think is important to kind of showcase. But I'll be honest, I was keeping my fingers crossed for an Eric Carr show, something good from that era, something from Creatures or something from Lick It Up, a soundboard from that era. I thought that it's long overdue that Eric Carr gets his due in this band, as far as a live show goes. And I was really hoping it was going to be that. And it wasn't that. And I really hope that eventually they get to, through the red tape or whatever it is that's preventing them from doing this, because it certainly isn't the fans that don't want it. I hear people all the time or read people all the time saying, hey, what's going on with an Eric Carr release from this series? There's got to be something, So, look, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, but they've got to be hearing and reading these comments from people, that people aren't exactly overjoyed with this next choice of a soundboard series stuff. And I haven't ordered it either, and the main reason why I haven't ordered it is because my local Sunrise Records got the first one in their CD and vinyl, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be getting this next one in there, and if I want it, I'll grab it there. And personally, Kiss Online has really cheesed me off lately with their whole service and stuff, so I'm not buying from them again, period. So
Word. Yeah. So, again, it is what it is for now. Talking about obscure lineups, I would dig a soundboard from the World Domination Tour.
Sure.
Because that's another oddity of a lineup, which Tommy with Peter as well. So, and it's also shorter. I mean, I think that's a 75-minute set, so more in the traditional, 70s Kiss show length. See if I can get that out in one go. But maybe for Japan, they've already got theirs listed up on CD Japan. No ideas of a bonus yet, but I'm wondering if they'll do a mini Rock the Nation tour book to go in theirs, like they did the Live Worldwide, or not the Farewell Tour, pardon me, mini tour book in the last one. So it'll be interesting to see. I said everything I've got to say on the topic in the last episode. I'm happy that we've got new releases. All right. So today's episode's all about one question, one important question, and it's the most interesting thread I've seen on the board in a long time. In fact, I think it was bumped. Is Peter Criss's 1978 solo album Yacht rock? I'm totally kidding. Screw that.
Yes.
We're gonna do some random topics here. Ken, start us off with something.
Okay. Did you want to do that Chikara and Smashes thing, or?
Well, I'm asking you, so you're the boss
Whatever
right
you
now.
want to do, Ken.
you're supposed to pick.
Oh,
only one person can drive the car at a time, or else it's going to crash.
Oh,
You've
so
got
I'll
the
crash
wheel.
car. No. Okay. So, all right. Here's a topic. So, in the mid '80s, mid to late '80s, Kiss released a couple of compilations, and one was Kiss Chikara, which was actually a CD only release from Japan, and the other one was, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, which was, worldwide, but it had an extra track in, I believe, England
was
or
vinyl, too.
Europe.
Yeah, England.
As my, oh yeah, I can show you that, because I mean, here's the Kiss.
Is that real?
Guitar. This is real. This is signed by Bruce, by the way.
Does it have the patch?
I do have the. It's not in it, but I do have the patch. So
Ooh.
I got it originally when it came with the patch. Ordered it way back in the '80s.
Nicotine patch or?
Yeah,
Shikara
symbol.
Shikara
this
patch was
symbol-
limited to 100,000 copies.
No.
Yeah, it was 100,000. That's a lot today, right? Today's world. That one, and then, well, I might as well show you this before we get into it. There is a couple of things, and on the vinyl that you mentioned, Mark, is they have the double vinyl, which has the, a gatefold.
Yeah. That's the 20 year, what are
and-
15 years of Kiss or something at the bottom it says?
Yeah. Well, actually, not double vinyl, but it's actually a. Sorry about
Picture
that. Jimmy.
disc, right?
It's a picture disc version, and that's what this is. That's still the sleeve, but has that, and then it has the kind of the old, picture Kiss. OG picture Kiss. So that's that one. Throw that down on the floor. And then the other one. This one is the regular one, and this is a promotional copy of it. But this one is kind of special. I opened it today. I forgot what was in it. They did have the the lyrics and all that stuff. But this one, I don't know. I guess I bought it this way. But it's a promotional copy. It came with the some press.
Oh,
Nice.
very
this
cool.
one, and that.
nice. That's always nice.
And plus the sheet, the
On
red.
the one page, yeah. Or two page.
So
that's actually
you
not-
basically got the press kit.
I guess it's the press kit for Smashes and Thrashes, and in here. So I thought, hey,
Wow, look at you.
I forgot I had it until I looked at it today. So anyway, the question is, what one does a better job, honoring the Kiss's 15th anniversary, and would you have done, something different in 1988 for these two albums? Would you, change the songs or mixes and all that stuff?
Honestly, I mean, I haven't really heard Shikara. Like, I don't have a copy of it, to be honest.
Okay.
But after looking through the track listings of both of them, I mean, I have Smashes Thrashes, obviously, and the one thing about Smashes Thrashes that bothers me is some of the remixes are just like, ugh, I don't like some of the remixes that they did of the old songs. Like, the drums just sound really odd in some of those songs. But I find that the Shikara stuff is really heavy on the 80s stuff, like really heavy. I mean, like you got like Creatures of the Night, I Love It Loud, War Machine, Lick It Up, All Hell's Breaking Loose, Heaven's on Fire, Thrills in the Night, Who Wants to Be Lonely, All Night, Tears Are Falling. That's all 80s, like that's almost off of like just 2 or 3 records that, that's not really a representation of their whole career. I mean, the only thing that they have, excuse me, that's old on here is Rock and Roll Night, Detroit Rock City, Love Gun, and I Was Made for Loving You. That's hardly a representation of their whole career. So on that basis, I would say that Smashes Thrashes is a better representation of their whole career. Which one would I probably prefer to listen to? I would say probably Shikara, because like I said, I don't like the remixes they did. Let's Put the X in Sex is, laughable, as is Rock Hard. And, so I just think that, overall, I think the other one is much better.
All right. Well, Lonnie, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, Mark has some excellent points. That Shakara is very 80s heavy, obviously, with only a few nods to the 70s. I prefer smashes as well. Yeah, those mixes aren't the best mixes of those songs, but for me, it was the first time I had heard some of these songs. Is when Smashes came out. My brother got an audio cassette of Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits, and it came out in '88, so I'm about 9 years old when Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits comes out. So it's, it's probably the first version of Deuce I ever heard was on Smashes. So, just like you guys have mentioned before, the version on, and I think when Andrew's been on the show, he said, well, this version of this song is my version that I heard on Double Platinum for the first time, because that's the first greatest hits album that you bought. Mm-hmm. And what do you do when you're getting into a band? You buy a greatest hits album. So for me, it's definitely Smashes. I mean, I Smashes is kind of partial to me for that reason, that it's the first place I heard, not shouted out loud, because we had Destroyer, we had Creatures of the Night, we had some other stuff too, but it's the first place I had heard a lot of these classic tunes, like Calling Dr. Love. That's my version of Calling Dr. Love, is what's on Smashes. My version as a kid is what's on Smashes. So for me, it's definitely that. Yeah, there's let's put the X in section. You Make Me Rock Hard, and say what you want about those songs. It's 1988, and they were chasing trends, and so that's what was popular. And I mean, just look at those videos. I mean, they totally blend in with what was popular in 1988. Mm-hmm. So for me, it is Smashes. One, because it's my version of a lot of those songs, but two, because like Mark said, it's a better representation of what the band was all about. You have the two brand new songs. You have the classic stuff with Deuce and Strutter and Love Gun, and you have the Tears Are Falling. You have a more of a wide scope of what the band's all about.
All right. So
Julian,
I got a comment now. It's apples and oranges to me. Mm-hmm. The Japanese Shakara came out, I think that was May 1988, soon after the Japan tour. So it's almost more commemorative for the Japan tour than it is a compilation celebrating anything, and that it was restricted to a single country as well, makes it a unique item. So I don't think it celebrates the 80s up to that point, mm-hmm. far more than anything else. So from that perspective, it's very cool and all that. But I think Smashes, again, like Lonnie's saying, that these are the versions that many fans will have become familiar with for the same reason that many of us had the same with Double Platinum. I'm also affected by the UK version being the version that I got, which is really weird, because obviously that had Crazy Nights and Reason to Live on it in place of Deuce, and Calling Dr. Love, I think, were replaced by those. So for me, Smashes does an okay job of celebrating it. It was all the rage to record new songs. And yeah, you know what? I'm living in Singapore at the time. I get the vinyl, which oddly is American. I played the shit out of it. I am guilty of playing the living daylights out of Let's Put the X. And don't forget, I didn't see the videos for many years until afterwards. So I never saw Paul Stanley swinging on the trapeze in the You Make Me Rock Hard video, or the whips at the beginning of it, the extended whip mix that was used on that. I never got to see all the glory of the X video. And it's abominable, dire. Actually, that's not as bad, really. But the song is cheese, without a doubt. But I did like the song. So, you know what? The one that has a better mix of songs from the catalog makes the better compilation as a 15th anniversary celebration. And I think that Shakara is not a celebration, whereas Smashes at least tries to be, even though they ruined a lot of those songs trying to update the drum sound or the sonics and trying to make it more modern. Complete brutalization. But that mix of Deuce on there, it confused me for years. I was like, this is a different version of Deuce, because it had a longer fade out. You were hearing more of it. But there you go.
Yeah. Well, for me, I just wish they would have done something different. For me, yes, we still had Double Platinum was out there. I guess the 15th, the Smashes thing is like a 15th compilation. Like you said, the other one is from Japan is a celebration. It's cool. It's for the tour, promote Kiss. I would have rather had a totally different thing. I would have liked to have had everything after Double Platinum, basically. Those songs on here, on everything. And
Double Platinum too.
Or call it Triple Platinum. Yeah. So, and yeah, the problem with Smashes is, they neutered Deuce. They sped up Love Gun. They had the crappy mix for Love It Loud, and stuff like that. The two new songs were not needed. So, in my opinion, I always liked Chikara. I like that. I mean, they to me they didn't even need to put the 3 older songs on that. They could have put 3 newer songs in addition instead. I mean, so yeah, I Was Made for Loving You was the long extended disco version, which was cool at the time. It was like, oh, I only had it on the 12-inch single on vinyl. Before that, it's finally on CD, digital. So that was great. But it had a good 3 songs from Creatures. Creatures of the Night, I Love It Loud, and War Machine. Creatures of the Night and War Machine are not on Smashes. So you're missing out on that stuff. It has Lick It Up and All Hell's Breaking Loose. Well, it has Lick It Up, but where's All Hell's Breaking Loose? That's not on Smashes either. So, and going on to Heaven's on Fire and Thrills in the Night, you got one of them, and then Who Wants to Be Lonely All Night and Tears Are 3 from Asylum on Chikara.
So clearly it's superior. 3 from Asylum, right, Mark?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, 3 on Creatures, 3 on Asylum, and then 2 on the Lick It Up and Animalize. But anyway, I don't know. I think they could have done something different. I don't know what they're trying to do at that point with this album. Actually, I'm surprised how well it sold. Really, it sold great. I'm just surprised by it. I listened to it a couple times, and then the Beth thing.
I thought we were going to get away with it. I was like, we're going to be John. We're going to be John Cleese in Faulty Towers. Don't mention Beth.
They did not have to re-record and put Eric's vocals on that one. They should have given him a vocal earlier on some other album, 80s album, and then they could have put it on here or something. I don't know. So that was kind of ridiculous. And then actually, going back to that on the soundboard thing real quick, to me, they're dissing again Eric Carr by not releasing something from that. They're trying all these unique variety of lineup stuff. I'm not so interested in it. I just want something good that we don't already have, or like this new one. So I would have rather had Hot in the Shade or something. At least represent Eric. Eric's never been represented. Eric Carr represented live on CD or whatever for us. So it needs to be done.
Well, he has been represented live on CD, on the Blockbuster bonus CD.
Ah, yes.
Okay. Technicality.
Or on
Julian,
what was the Japanese bonus track with him?
New York Crew.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but a full out blown release.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just making you be specific.
Off the soundboard.
Sorry.
I know you're trying to be
not being obtuse deliberately.
So, anyway.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right.
Next subject.
All right, Lonnie, next subject. Throw a topic at us.
Could there be a possibility that Eric Singer or Tommy Thayer would leave the band? This farewell tour has been going on for 6-7 years now. How long has this farewell tour been going on? I don't. It's hard to remember. 2019.
21
20
years. It was when the farewell tour started.
Yeah, you could say that. But end of the road tour. But to be fair, end of the road tour has been going on for 3 years now. And I know things were shut down in 2020 for a good amount of time. But when those dates were announced yesterday, the rescheduled dates were announced yesterday during May. It's like the end of the road tour dates. I'm like, man, they should stop calling it. And I think I'd text you guys too. And I'm like, they shouldn't call it the end of the road tour day. End of the road tour anymore. They should just call it like the never ending tour or something like that. I mean, they should rename the tour at this point. I mean, the tour that won't end. And I guess, as long as, I don't know, it's funny because originally the final Kiss show was supposed to be July of 2021. Obviously, COVID had something to say about that, so we're still going at this point. And there's a multitude of dates in 2022 thus far, and I don't know when it ends, and So I guess the original question. So the question is there a possibility Eric or Tommy would leave the band? Do Eric and Tommy just say, I have an opportunity, and it's crazy as that may sound, to do something else, or I just can't keep doing this and like, oh well, Gene and Paul need me, so drop what you're doing for the next 2 months and do these dates. I'm sure the money's great in it, but at a certain point, just like, how much longer are we going to do this? So is there a possibility they would leave the band and say, I'm done? And that's how the last farewell tour kind of sputtered out with a different member at the end of the farewell tour who, said, I'm done. Could that happen? Could history repeat itself? Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not, but maybe.
Well, I mean, look, I think that anything is possible. The one thing that I can see happening more is with Eric Singer more than Tommy Thayer. Now, Tommy Thayer, not to say that he wouldn't. Well, I mean, no, I'm saying with Tommy Thayer could go and do something else, but maybe not like as a guitarist. Don't forget, this guy is skilled in many other areas too. He's like, road managed. He's done a lot of the business end of stuff too. Maybe his skills might be, alluring to some other band in another way. All right. But I mean, look at Eric Singer. I mean, the guy's played with Alice Cooper. He's done a bunch of other stuff of note, and maybe, maybe he's chomping at the bit too. Like, I mean, maybe he's already at that point where he's thinking about what's next, because the end of the road will happen with Kiss. Obviously, they are coming to an end, and if they keep stretching it and stretching it and stretching it, will his patience run out? Maybe. But I kind of find that these guys are kind of loyal. You know what I mean? I think that they'll remain loyal with Paul and Gene until the end. I think they'll make it worth their while to stay in the end, even if they feel like little rumblings of them saying, Alice is asking if I can come back or something. I'm sure they'll do something to say, no, just, hold out with us until the end and we'll make it worth your while. So I think that anything is possible, but I think that, they're going to stay till the end.
Cat.
Yeah. I don't, I don't see them leaving. I mean, they've come this far.
What's Kiss without lineup changes, though? Come on.
They would have left. Yeah. They would have left. Other than if one person got, very sick or something like that and couldn't, hopefully that would never happen. But that's the only way I see it. They're on the final stretch now.
Are they?
I probably said that a year ago too, but I think they are. And I think this will all be done by the end. The end of this year, and or the very, very beginning.
See, you don't even know.
January.
Ever loyal.
January of 2023. It's going to be over by the end of January 2023. That's my prediction.
Or is it?
Yeah, is it?
What's the next variation coming? The
And the
Havana Green or the Peruvian
Megatron.
The real question is, will your products that you guys ordered for the New Year's Eve show come before the end of the
Mark, yes.
Yeah, before Kiss ends it.
Yeah.
Well,
will
I
you
get
receive it?
my
the
Dubai
real
package.
The over-under bet is, will Kiss play their final show, or will Ken get his Dubai package? Which happens
Yeah.
first?
or will Magic arrive?
Or will Magic?
Oh, there we go.
And there's it.
Yeah,
Or
right.
actually,
We're okay.
let's not even be that optimistic. Or will there be a significant update to the status of Magic?
Still working.
Let's start on the baby steps here. Yeah. You know what? Could Eric and Tommy leave? Yeah. Come on, it's a job.
Yeah.
And right now, a lot of employees are rebelling against their bosses. So who's to even know? I mean, would it make sense? I don't know. I don't know what their personal situations or lives are. I don't want to know. I hope whatever they do what's right for them, and they're happy doing whatever they're doing. Could they leave? Yeah. Could I die tomorrow? Yeah. I don't worry about it. So would I like to see them to the end of the road? Yeah, if they're happy. You know, I think I've seen my final show, so for all intents and purposes, I don't care. But whatever they do, I mean, it's got to be right for them. Tommy's recently done Guitar Zeus with Carmen, wasn't it? Appice. I always get it. Appice, Appice. Vinny's Appice.
Vinny Appice and Carmine Apiece.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys.
Tomato,
I know.
Yeah, don't confuse old people like us. We're getting old, you know. So, I mean, he's stretching outside the box in terms of, you know, he's got capabilities, but he's got his own projects. So, you know, what makes him happy? Does he still getting up on stage, you know, with Kiss? Do what's right for you. You know, Gina Paul would do what's right for them in a heartbeat. You know, that they're no different. All of us are the same. We're going to do what's right for us in whatever our circumstances are at the moment that we're forced to make a decision. So I frankly don't care. I don't have an opinion either way on this. Would I want them to? Would I want them to say? No, I want them to do what's right for them. And that's all that matters. Again, I've seen my final show as far as I know. I won't go to the final show, I don't think, if there's even a chance, because it'll be everything I've already said it's going to be. The fakest load of bullshit ever. And that's just the front row. All the posers. Or the rich people, jangle your jewels. You know, it's going to be a gouge fest as far as scalping. So I don't want any part of that. That doesn't interest me, and I don't care if the original four are there. I've seen them play when they were younger, so does not matter to me. All right, who's up next with the topic?
I am. Okay, so I saw this one, and I'll read what it says here, like this post, but I'll tell you why I'm picking this one. So the post is Bruce Kulick to perform at Creature Fest in Nashville. Now, the reason why this one kind of caught my attention was I remember before this post came up, there was a post on Facebook from Vinny saying that he's has a big announcement. He's going to be playing this Creature Fest thing, and it was just him, right? What's that?
Vinny who?
Vinny Vincent.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That Vinny.
And so, and I was thinking to myself, okay, this is going to be another one of these things again, where it's going to be like 20 people at some SIR studio again thing, and he's just naming it that. But then when I looked here later, and all these other people started getting announced here, Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, Quiet Riot, Vixen, John Corabi, Trickster, Pretty Boy Floyd. All of a sudden I was like, oh, wait a minute. Is this actually a legit festival now? Number one. And number two, are we going to finally see like actual footage of Vinnie Vincent playing live? I mean, this is the thing that kind of just took me by surprise, because he's done such a tremendous job in making everybody, you know, not take any footage of him, but yet everybody claims that he's so blisteringly amazing on guitar still. Well, is this going to be our chance to see him finally, put his money where his mouth is? I mean, I'm curious on your guys' reaction to this. I mean, number one, would you guys even be remotely interested in seeing this? Number one. And number two, do you think Vinny is going to actually do this, or do you think it's going to be like an 11th hour bailing out of it? Nah, something came up, I can't do it.
I don't care. Respect to Neil putting together a great event. It's obviously got enough other things going for it in case the maestro bails. All those other acts are interesting, reliable, and all of that. Do I even care if he can play anymore? No, I don't. 4 years ago, isn't it, Lonnie?
4 years ago, it's in my Facebook memories.
Yeah, 4 years ago this week, I was texting Lonnie saying, "Help!" when the fireballs came out. Help!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The dinner party of dinner parties.
Yeah, that was special. But back to Vinny. You know what? He's had 4 years to do so many things. He's chosen his path. And he's made it clear that, he kind of likes to do these private, cultish events. And that's my perception of them. I don't really care what the reality is. If you go to them and you have a great time, more power to you. I'm not there, and very little of use comes out of those in terms of reporting. If he gets up on stage, is he just strumming rhythm like that abomination in Miami? Because that's not playing. I can do that. I know I'm not Vinnie Vincent, but I can do the exact same thing he was doing. My guitar skills are proficient enough to do a lot of the Kiss catalog to that level.
Fake my way through it, yeah.
And in fact, most people who've played Guitar Hero can probably do that. And yes, I'm being deliberately harsh. So the time has come and gone where I was really interested in what he was promising musically, whether it was in terms of playing, whether it was in terms of 2 box sets or 3 box sets, or
this year. That was 2018.
There have been so many musical promises. There was going to be the release of those Carmen demos from 1980, 81. Nothing came of it. So if he gets up, and plays on his own, and we could see his fingers on the fretboard, so all the real guitarists in the audience will know where the reality starts and the tape stops, then it would be interesting. Do I need to see it? No. Lonnie, take us back to Atlanta. No, don't.
Please don't. But if it happens, and it's sad. It's sad that we have to sit here and have the conversation. That will it happen? Throw COVID. Throw that aside. Let's for a moment. Let's just say, let's not throw that variable in. But will it happen? Will this bill, as it is featured, happen? I don't know. And that's a gamble. That's a gamble for anyone. Would it be cool? Absolutely. Bruce Kulick plays by himself. Ace Frehley plays by himself. Vinnie Vincent plays by himself. I mean, what diehard Kiss fan wouldn't say, yeah, sign me up for that. I want that. But but at the same time, we all had that little hesitation. Is this really going to happen? Is this too cool to happen? Is at the 11th hour, yeah, well, no. Changing the rules. So I'm happy that, and I have this conversation with my wife often, that I'm really happy that I went to Atlanta and I got to meet him, and he signed my Kiss reed, he signed my leg, he signed my box set, and I had that moment with him.
I found a picture of your leg yesterday. When I was going through my photos, there's Lonnie's leg on my camera roll.
Signed it so damn big. My buddy makes so much fun of me. Like, I was in the band for 18 months. I don't think I would have him sign me like that big. Anyway, you know, it was a gamble going to Atlanta 4 years ago. It was just, we all had that little thing in the back of our minds up until the point he walked out on stage. Like, is this really happening? And
even when he was in there with Eddie being interviewed, we're all like, is he going to now bail?
My wife still talks about that. Let's talk about Atlanta for 2 seconds here. My wife still talks about that. She was at your table watching your books while you and I and the rest of these guys are in this room waiting for him to show up. She was like, because she's like, I don't need to meet the guy. I don't even need to see the guy. I really don't care. I'm just going to go for the weekend until weekend away. So she's sitting in the room where all the merch was.
Thank you, Becky, by the way. Yeah. Thank you for watching my table.
She's like, I'll just sit here and watch Julian's books. I really don't care. So one of the goons who was like hosting Vinny around that weekend comes up to Becky and he goes, you got to get out of this room. And she goes, what are you talking about? I'm watching my friend's merchandise. He goes, no, Eddie and Vinny are coming in this room. You got to go. And she's like, I wouldn't know Eddie or Vinny if they walked in this room right now. So what does it matter? And they go, no, you got to go. She's like, F off. And she just walked out. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Wow.
But it's too big of a risk for me at this point in my life. Do I really want to go to Nashville's not like 5 hours from me. It's not that far. But do I really want to go down there with the risk of it not happening and be disappointed and being out money because there's probably be some kind of clause that you don't get a refund or something like that. But if it happens, fantastic. I'm all over it. Great. But it's not for me to attend.
Well, this is it here. I don't think Vinny's going to show up, or he'll cancel shortly before, it's going to happen. I think it may still happen as it is without him. Hopefully it'll happen, and that would be fine. But I just don't believe it. He'll be there, and if he is, that'll be a good surprise, I guess. But as of this time, I lump Vinny in with
Sasquatch.
Yeah, Sasquatch, Dubai, and Magic. They're in their own little box.
Well, actually, I don't think it's fair to compare him to Dubai because he has delivered at all those private events that he has hosted. So he's not been selling fiction.
Well, the box sets.
Yeah. The box sets are the box sets. I don't think there's any way around that at this point.
That twice.
Yeah, I don't think he's able to deliver. For whatever reason.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So Bruce Kulick Band isn't enough of a draw. I think the protection that's going in is enough.
Good draw. And Ace, that should be a good enough draw.
Quiet Riot. With no original band members?
Definitely Quiet Riot, the new version, or whatever,
Pretty Boy Floyd, Vixen?
Trickster?
Kix? Was Kix, or?
Trickster.
No. Trickster, okay. Yeah, so, I think it will happen.
Did you see the meet and greet prices, though? $275, $275. Nice. John Krabby, $50. Like, Krabby.
Krabby doesn't care.
Yeah.
Power to the music, Krabby. I mean, that's
right.
So cool. All right. So does mean I got it. No, Mark, what do you think?
Well, I think when I started this, I said that I'm kind of convinced that he's going to pull the parachute in the 11th hour and bail. I mean, because like I said, I think he just feels more comfortable in these 10 to 20 people setups, where he can get everything controlled, make sure nobody has cameras rolling and stuff like that. Once it starts getting into venues where there's going to be hundreds of people there, the control is out the window, and that's where he's going to start getting all flustered and like, no, I don't want to be involved with this, So, but if that does actually happen, I will be shocked if anybody even mentions Vinnie Vincent in a live performance setting ever again. I mean, to see him involved in something like this now, I think is an absolute miracle. I mean, if I was a promoter, I would make sure that he put down money, like he put a deposit down on him showing.
Security bond.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, he's canceled so many things already. I mean, I remember Julian's very angered tone when that one thing you were supposed to go to got completely, blown up at the last minute there.
That's
you know?
Graceland. Yeah.
Yeah,
Graceland. Oh, yeah,
exactly. So,
Hey, but at least I got a pretty poster.
yes. But that's the thing. I mean,
It's more than Ken got from Dubai.
Oh. Wah, wah. But the thing is, being involved in this sort of thing, having played some tours with, when I was a pile driver and stuff like that were a little bit more on the mid-level circuit, these things are not looked upon lightly. If you pull out of a show like that, you have to do a lot of work, PR-wise, to get anybody to start thinking of you as, a possible act again on their show. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really do something. I don't know, you got to send flowers to the guy's wife every week and, do something just to get him back into the books to even talk to these people, because that's a big thing, to pull out on a show like that, especially one that's supposed to be billed as some kind of big event, and there's a big, there's pretty decent people on there, Bruce Kulick and Ace Frehley alone, I think, would draw people like that as is, because lots of people were saying on the board that if Bruce did tour, they would go and see it. So now's their chance to actually prove if that's true or not, and show up to it. So I would probably, if it was close to me, then I would probably take a chance on it, because I think that Bruce and Ace would be assured to show up. I think that would be something that you could rest assured on. But if I was going to go there thinking that I'm going to go see Vinnie Vincent, I think I would end disappointed, I think.
Yes, I think looking at Vinny as the icing on the cake is probably the smartest way to look at it. But then again, if you've been on any of the live auction sites, Vinny's done a lot with Neil, and they clearly have a good relationship and a strong one. And Neil knows what he's doing. He's not, some low-level schmuck. He's got the experience and the business acumen, and he knows the right people to help him in the areas where any smart person would need to offload some of the work. So, I think from that basis, that people can be confident that the event goes on. And I think he's done an insurance policy that you've got the three guitarists of Kiss, is a strong selling point at this point. But should some, God forbid, Bruce has an obligation come up, then you still got the two guitarists of Kiss. Or if Ace has an obligation come up, you still got the two. So you're really playing majority, in terms of insurance coverage. And same with some of the other acts. These things are organic, especially this far out in this world that we live in. So, for people who are going, I think we all want to be optimistic. I've bought tickets to the Graceland thing. Come on. I was optimistic that it would happen. Things came up that meant that it didn't. Did it make me gun shy about committing to doing something else in the future? No. Did the things that, were announced as Vinny's event in the future appeal to me? No, they didn't, frankly. So I haven't gone to any of them. Would I go to them? I don't know. Again, as he's done over the past couple of years, those events really hold no interest to me because of the secrecy required for them. And that just doesn't, when Vinny walked out on that stage in Atlanta, sat down with a guitar, I've seen him play. I've heard him sing and play. Robert Fleischman sat down with him and sang a little. And that moment is really something that can never be recaptured, even were you to strap on a fluorescent pink guitar and go nuts on it. Does that hold much appeal to me now? I've listened to very little Vinnie Vincent music since then. It was almost like I used to listen to Guitars from Hell a lot. I really dug it. I don't listen to much Vinny at all now. I've unloaded most of my stuff because I'm just unloading everything. Anyway, but I haven't gone back and listened to him. I still listen to Peter Criss's stuff all the time. I still listen to Paul's stuff all the time. Gene's stuff quite frequently. I'm still digesting the vault to a certain extent. But Vinny, after that moment where he did sit down and play acoustic and sing for us in Atlanta, that was a cool moment to be a part of. And maybe that was all I needed from him, to see that he was vertical with a pulse, still could, sing, could play a bit, and that's all I needed. So if you're going, I hope you have a blast. I don't think we need any other further questions. I'm all like melancholy now. And anyway, my chicken's about to come out of the oven in 1 minute, so let's leave that there for this week. That's a bunch of randomish topics. What are your take on each one of those? And if you didn't manage to chime in on Virginia Beach, well, 2 of our guys did today with their opinions. So, let us know what you think about that. I think we'll have to do a Dubai recap at some point as well.
Do we?
Which piece of Dubai merchandise do you most regret not receiving? There's a poll for the FAQ. Or, which
I think
edits
that's the vinyl that you did not receive, Julian.
Which
It's
magical piece of merchandise?
the vinyl is all I wanted.
That was the limited cool thing on that package that you got. Yeah.
It was the vinyl. The name in the credits was irrelevant. It was the vinyl, since it was going to be so limited.
I talk about this, and my wife's so happy that I did not purchase anything from that.
Yeah.
Regrets, I've had a few, but never so many as expensive as Dubai. But there you go. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. And from Mark, Lonnie, Ken, and myself, thanks. We'll see you next time. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.